वनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रह्लाद नरसिंह जय प्रह्लाद नरसिंह प्रह्लाद नरसिंह जय प्रह्लाद नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 श्री राधा माधव अष्ट सखी वृंद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। श्री श्री पंचतत्व की जय। श्री प्रह्लाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 10th chapter, shloka number 22. bodhyamānasya ṛṣibhir ātmanas jighṛkṣataḥ karṇau ca nirabhidyetāṁ diśaḥ śrotraṁ guṇa-grahaḥ bodhyamānasya ṛṣibhir ātmanas jighṛkṣataḥ karṇau ca nirabhidyetāṁ diśaḥ śrotraṁ guṇa-grahaḥ bodhyamānasya ṛṣibhir ātmanas jighṛkṣataḥ karṇau ca nirabhidyetāṁ diśaḥ śrotraṁ guṇa-grahaḥ. Bodhyamānasya, desiring to understand. ṛṣibhiḥ, by the authorities. ātmanas, of the Supreme Being. Tat, that. jighṛkṣataḥ, when he desired to take up. karṇau, the ears. Cha, also. nirabhidyetāṁ, became manifested. diśaḥ, the directions or the god of air. śrotram, the power of hearing. guṇa-grahaḥ, and the objects of hearing. So translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. By development of the desire of the great sages to know, the ears, the power of hearing, the controlling deity of hearing, and the objects of hearing became manifested. The great sages desired to hear about the self. Purport. As stated in the Bhagavad-gītā, by advancement of knowledge, one should try to know about the Supreme Lord, the summum bonum of everything. Knowledge does not mean knowledge only of the laws of nature or physical knowledge, which are working by the directions of the Lord. The scientists are eager to hear about the physical laws working in material nature. They are eager to hear through the medium of radio and television about things taking place far away from them on other planets. But they should know that the power of hearing and the instruments for hearing were given to them by the Lord for hearing about the self or about the Lord. Unfortunately, the power of hearing is misused in hearing the vibration of mundane affairs. The great sages were interested in hearing about the Lord through Vedic knowledge and nothing more. That is the beginning of oral reception of knowledge. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, there is a very interesting change happening in this particular shloka in reference to the previous shlokas. Previously, it is mentioned Krishna desired to see. That's why the eyes were manifested, the lights were manifested. He desired to smell. That's why the fragrance came, the nose came. All the different bodily parts came because Krishna wanted to do something. From this particular shloka, it says the great devotees desired to hear about, to know about Krishna. That's why the ears were manifested. Krishna is not, he's not interested in hearing about himself. But it's the devotees who want to hear about him or to know about him. So that's why Krishna created ears. And so we can hear it also says diśaḥ means the direction or the god of air. Why the god of air has to be here? The god of air has to be here because he is he's becoming a medium for the sound to travel. If the air is not there, you can't hear. Right? So that's why Krishna creates all these different things, so there can be an interaction between him and the devotees. Srila Prabhupada explains, it's a very short purport, but he explains a very important thing. What does he explain? It's stated in Bhagavad-gītā, you should receive knowledge. What is the point of existing in the human life, in the human form, if you don't have knowledge? Even animals, they gather knowledge. I was hearing to one of the lectures of Srila Prabhupada a few days ago, and he's explaining, in human form of knowledge, the most important thing is adhato brahma jigyasa. Right? Even animals, they understand what they are supposed to do, what they are not supposed to do, what to eat, what not to eat, what is their territory. They don't go out of their territory. Like sometimes when you're traveling by road, you will see, especially in West Bengal, you will see these signs, oh, this is the way of the wild animals, be careful. Right? It's an open jungle. They can roam around wherever they want, but no, they have their particular path. They don't go beyond that. They live in their area. And it's very, very natural for them to stick to the rules of the nature. Human beings got extra intelligence. So now human beings, they start to figure out how I can go beyond what I'm supposed to do. Right? And that's where the problem starts. You want to do something that you have nothing to worry about, but you want to do it. Why? Just stick to your principles, just stick to your path, do what you are supposed to do. If everybody does that, the place is Vaikuntha. There is no problem. Why? Because in Vaikuntha everybody does that. Right? They all perform their duties, they are all there serving Krishna in their own capacity, and nobody is kind of barging in another's way. That's why they can collectively serve Krishna very nicely. And Krishna is happy with that. So unfortunately, we human beings sitting in the material world, we try to figure out things that are not relevant to us, not necessary for us, but we still try to figure out, who is yelling next door, what's the latest gossip around, why, what's the spicy things, what somebody's posting on the Mayapur forum. We are interested, and then we start giving our opinions about it. Right? Oh, this person should have done that, or that person should have done that. But that's not your job. Your job is to serve Radha Madhava in your own personal capacity. Don't worry about different things. That's going out of your own knowledge. Prabhupada here, it says, the scientists are trying to figure out what is happening in other planets while sitting over here. If they really want to figure out what's going on, Brihad Bhagavatamrita is explaining, when you leave your body, when you die, you are taken to every part of the universe. When you are on your way back to Godhead, you're taken to every part of the universe where you are seeing, oh, this place is like this place is like this. And Shastra explains that the place where we are living, Jambudvip, is the most poor place of the entire universe. Right? The most poor place. Other places you go, they have the ocean of oil, ocean of milk, ocean of honey, curd. The people are much more beautiful, they are much more strong, they're much more opulent. Even if you go down to Patala Loka, you have Vamandev himself as the guard. Right? God himself is guarding Patala Loka. Why? Because Bali Maharaj is sitting over there. And he blessed Bali Maharaj that Patala Loka will be much more opulent than Swarga. Just because he wanted to enjoy the pleasures of heavenly planets, he said, okay, you can live in Patala, but it's going to be much more opulent than the heavenly planets. Right? You go a little higher than that, there are the Nagalokas. There is no light over there. But every Naga has a gem on his head, which is, bright enough for them to move around and see. So when we go to all these different planets, it's very easy for us to get bewildered. Oh, that place looks nice. And the the Vishnu Dutas were like, oh, spend some time over here. And we'll be like, yeah, nice place, Hare Krishna. We got stuck over there. And then they take you once they have completed showing you the entire universe, they start taking you through the coverings of the universe. And it says that each covering is double amount of more opulent than the previous one. Right? So how much opulence the universe has, the first layer of the universe has the double of that. The second layer has the double of the first one. The third has the double of the second one. And it keeps on going like that till you cross over the 7 coverings of the universe. And before you leave the universe, Mohini Murti comes to greet you. And it's even possible over there you can get stuck. And like, oh wow, she's so beautiful. Remember, even Lord Shiva was attracted by Mohini Murti. What to speak about us? And if we get stuck, no problem. You can stay there. Spend some time. Yeah, sure, you're worshipping the Lord over there. You're spending the time. They are all very, very pious people. You're not performing sinful activity. But remember what Bhagavad-gītā says. Once the pious credit of living in that place is over, you drop down to the earthly planet. And then you have to restart everything. Right? So that's why we should not be worrying about what's going on. Let me figure it out. There are some people. We used to have one kid in Gurukul. We used to call him a radio. Why? It says as soon as he knew something, he would immediately inform somebody else. And like that, it will go around. I remember it was once Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, and one of our boys got some fever. And we are checking him, okay, he got fever. I was asked to go and get some medicine from the medical camp. I walk outside, and it must have been maybe 20 seconds that we found out he has fever. I go outside, the first person I meet, is like, oh, this person has fever? It's like, how did you know? This person told me. And the person whom I met had nothing to do with us. Like, absolutely nothing. He's just one of the Mayapur devotees, who is around. But he already knows. Why? Because there is this great desire to inform everybody else about what I know. Such a waste of time. You can sit there peacefully, chant your japa, read Bhagavatam, read Prabhupada books, associate with Vaishnavas, and go back to Godhead. Recently, I was observing within my family. My father is there chanting his japa very sincerely, every day. He chants his 16 rounds very sincerely. My father-in-law chants his japa very, very sincere. They are all doing their japa very nicely. But there is a lot of attachment to the family. I'm sure all of us sitting over here, chanting sincerely, but there is still a lot of attachment. Why? We all say, oh, we just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Oh, you can be if you let go of your attachments. But because we can't let it go, we are facing so many difficulties, so many problems. Right? Krishna wants to come to us, but we have kept barricades. Lust, anger, greed. It's all there. And we don't allow. Right? There are so many devotees, so sincere in their service. But there is lots of attachment. And that attachment doesn't allow us to go out of this material world. Srila Prabhupada said, one rasagulla can keep you in the material world. A desire to enjoy one rasagulla. It's not that you can't get rasagullas in the spiritual world. But because I am attached to that particular taste, I will not be allowed to go. So what is our solution? What can we do? We are hearing, we are attending the morning program, whole day we are engaged in our service, but still we are not able to let go of our attachments. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, been practicing devotional service. But leaving attachment is a voluntary activity. I want to get rid of this. I really want to get rid of my anarthas. I really don't want to sit where there is gramya katha. Gramya katha is very attractive, extremely attractive. What's going on in somebody else's life. How many news channels are there? I remember as a kid, there used to be 2 channels. There was DD1, DD2. Right? And at a particular time, there would be news. And the person who is giving a news, very sober, and doesn't matter what news he's saying, he's having the same tone, same voice. It is a happy news, sad news, everything in the same tone. And timing finished, news finished, everybody moved on with their life. Now, there are more than 20 news channels. And everybody, it's like screaming out the news. Oh, this is happening, that is happening. And if there is no news, then they will create a situation where groups of people will come together and fight over there. And people sit and watch. For what? Why? We have a desire to hear, but it's all mundane affairs. Right? We are not interested in anything else. Very interested in what's going on. Which party is going to be the ruling party. It did not make a difference. But we are so much attached to it. Newspapers, we want to know what's going on. But if we don't know any of these things, we will still can go back to Godhead. Probably it's easier to go back to Godhead when you don't know rest of the world what's going on. When your life just depends between your house and the temple. Right? You meet the devotees, you see them, you greet them, you say Hare Krishna, you associate with them. Dadati, pratigrihnati, guhyamākhyati, prichhati, bhunkte, bhojayate, chaiva. If you do these 6 things, there is not enough time in your day. Right? If you're busy in giving some gift to devotees, receiving gifts from them, revealing your mind in confidence, hearing their mind in confidence, feeding them, getting fed by them, your day is over. Finish. And you read some shastra, you do your sadhana, your day is over. And Krishna becomes so pleased. Right? He says, somebody who thinks directly that I am Krishna's devotee, I do not consider him as my devotee. The person who thinks that I'm the devotee of my devotee, I consider him as my devotee. Where do you have the time? We don't. And it's very interesting to hear that Krishna says, it was only because the devotees wanted to know about the Lord, that's why he created ears. He created air. So that we can hear about him. Right? When the televisions came in India, the first ever movie made by the Indians was on Maharaj Harishchandra. Right? They created Ramayana. They made Mahabharata. So that you can propagate devotional service, people can know about it. Like throughout the week, everybody is busy, in their work. So they would show all these different cinemas. But on Sunday, when people are at home, you will get Mahabharata, followed by Ramayana, followed by Krishna Leela. That's it, from like 9 o'clock in the morning till like 11:30, that's what you would watch. And it was all there. Now, it doesn't exist. They even, make a, diverted form of it. Why? Because people are not interested to hear about Krishna. They are not interested about developing their Krishna consciousness. They are very much interested in, mundane affairs. And we completely forgot the principles of why we got our ears. In Gurukul, I remember one of our teachers used to tell us when we would make a lot of noise, he would say, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. I said, why? He said, you should hear twice the amount of what you speak. Should hear a lot. Yeah. And person who hears good talks less. There is a story of Tenali Raman, and Maharaj Krishna Deva Rai. So somebody gifted 3 dolls. This is a very, very special doll. So they gifted. And Krishna Deva Rai, he wants to have fun. So he tells Tenali Raman, who's the most intelligent out of these 3 dolls? It's like, they're just 3 dolls. Who is the most intelligent out of these 3 dolls? Okay, fine. He just made a comment, everybody joked about it. King continued with the court. After some time, Tenali Raman, he says, Maharaj, this one is the most intelligent doll. And now Krishna Deva Rai gets annoyed. He's like, I joke with you, you don't joke back with me. Right? You joke back with the king, you lose your head. So Maharaj Krishna Deva Rai, he said, okay, you better prove it. So he said, here Maharaj, I take this stick, I put it in the ear of the first doll, the stick came out on the other end. So whatever it hear, he didn't hear it. The second doll, I put the stick in the ear, it came out from the mouth. So whatever it hears, it's like blah, came out. It didn't process it through the brain. Where the third doll, I put the stick in the ear, it got stuck. It didn't come out anywhere. That means the doll, what it hears, it sticks in his brain. So that's why this particular doll is the most intelligent of all 3. And then the king was very happy. Everybody applauded. He got a lot of, gifts. So what do we learn? What we hear, process it through the brain. Right? When it gets processed, that's when your realization comes. When the realization comes, then when you speak about it, it has effect. But if you hear something and just straight away, without thinking, just blare it out, it has no potency. During Srila Prabhupada's time, the devotees came, spent some few months with the devotees, learned about devotional service, went to a completely unknown continent, started preaching, became successful. Why? Because they heard Srila Prabhupada speak. They heard the different devotees speak. They processed it in their head. They were convinced that this is the best thing to do. That's why when they went out to talk, it was effective. Right? And like that, within 12 years, we had more than 100 temples around the world. Hearing is very, very powerful. Very, very important. Right? So that's why give up all the, the attachments to the mundane affairs. And we get stuck on hearing about Krishna. Kartik is coming close. What are we going to do? How are we going to develop our Krishna consciousness? We all say, it's very important month. It's the favorite month of Srimati Radharani. La 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 la. You chant 1 round is equal to chanting, so many more rounds. And yeah, but the amount of sinful activity we perform in Kartik also gets multiplied. And so, what are we going to do? How are we going to develop? One of my friends, he's completely busy throughout the year. So what he does, okay, every Kartik, I'm going to read 1 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's his vrata. Then he will find time for, doesn't matter what, he will find time to read every day X amount of pages so he can complete that 1 canto in that 1 year, in that 1 month in Kartik. So like that, over 12 years, he has read Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he applies it in his personal life. He's very, very steady in his service. Very steady in his japa. So he's very successful. Does it mean that he has no faults? No, he has. People are annoyed many times. But him in his devotional service is very strong. And because his devotional service is very strong and he is working on removing his anarthas, eventually he will come up to the time that he will be able to go back home, back to God without any worries. Right? Be peaceful. Like that we can all think what we want to do in this coming Kartik. How are we going to please Radha Madhava? Maybe we can do the same. Read one canto of Bhagavatam. Hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures, kirtans. Chant extra japa. And give up on our anarthas of hearing about the mundane activities of the material world. And get a step closer to Krishna. God knows how many lifetimes we have been here. Shastra explains, after you have performed pious activities for several hundred lifetimes, can the name Krishna can come once on your tongue. Once. That means we have been in this world practicing devotional service for a long time. But just because we are not serious about it and we are not dedicated towards it, we are still around. Right? So let's find time, place, circumstances where we can develop our Krishna consciousness, develop our hearing on the Lord, and go back home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions from devotees? Yes, sir.
Prabhuji, what does Gramya Katha means?
Gramya Katha. Gramya Katha means then you are sitting with your friends playing, and then they start talking about, oh, do you remember this particular boy got punished for this particular reason in the school? Oh, yeah, such a bad boy, he's always so nasty and rough and la 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 la. And the third guy says, yes, I have also seen this thing. That's Gramya Katha. Happens in the school, no? Yeah, so that's Gramya Katha. Yeah? Thank you.
Prabhuji, here in the Purport, it is mentioned that the summum bonum of everything, like as stated in Bhagavad-gītā, by advancement of knowledge, one should try to know about the Supreme Lord, the summum bonum of everything. What is the meaning of summum bonum?
He is the cause of all causes. Everything just comes, it's only him.
Actually, I've seen that in the first verse of this chapter, Ashray, Prabhupada wrote Samam Bonam. So Ashray equivalent to Samam Bonam, Prabhupada wrote.
Yeah, he's everything. He's the cause of just everything.
Okay.
Everybody has a different understanding of how realizations come. I have heard Sachinandan Maharaj say. So you said, when you process it in your head, realize it. Can you elaborate a little more on it? Because just wanted to understand your perspective.
Basically, the realization is applied knowledge. You have knowledge, you apply it, and by the practice of the application, then you get realization. So when you're reading something, you're reading it for some time, you just read it, it goes by. But then when you start thinking about it, then you start thinking, oh, how does it affect in my life? How have I gone through this particular situation? How is it that, it's important to me? Then you start getting realization. Or let's say, you want to cook a potato sabji. You read about it. When you're reading, okay, this is how you do it. So then you follow the recipe, and you cook it, the sabji comes out. Then you taste it, oh, you feel the salt is a little less. So next time you cook the same sabji, you add a little more salt to it, and then it comes out very, very nice. So now you have realized how to make a potato sabji. Now you can use your other knowledge, you can use some cream in it, you can use some tomatoes with it, make it a little gravy, make it dry, make it mushed, bake it, So then you have the realization on potatoes. Vigyan is realization.
I had a different understanding of realization. It comes something from, it's like a gift from Krishna. When you show your sincerity in following something, so it is then, you know, I mean, you have made an effort, so Krishna sends a realization as a gift of your, you know, efforts to put it into Vigyan. So,
But that's the same thing you said what I said in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I will process it. Now,
Okay.
what you said, I will take a little more time.
Sure.
And thank you so much for your reply.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, you mentioned one very important point in the start, like regarding attachment. You see that we are chanting sincerely, you know, but still there is attachments, you know. Like, so especially for those who are in, like, brahmachari means attachment will be with their dhoti kurta and all these things can be given up. But those who are in grahastha, in family life, it is like license is given to, like, how do we say, just there is one empty plate, suppose. It is very easy to give up an empty plate. But if you fill it with chappan bhog, no, then it becomes very difficult to give that plate up. Then the attachment increases. So I have seen that this trend is there, like this inbuilt nature is there, that it should be chappan bhog in that plate. It cannot be like chapati, sabji, rice, dal, you know. But there should be chappan bhog. There should be like, so that is how the attachment comes and it builds up on that. So how is it that at the last that you will give up this plate? You know? How will you give it up? It's like you have
Offer
filled
it. It's many times said that, oh, brahmacharis is easy life. You have just your dhoti, kurta, your kamandalu, one room, one mat. You know, what is there to be attached for? You can say it as a grihastha because you have much more things. And those things are like, ha. And I say, it's a mat, come on. I sleep on a king-size bed with like very nice mattresses, right? How can you be so attached to just a mat? No, you have the mattress, that's why you are attached to the mattress. Brahmachari only got a mat, so that's why he's attached to the mat. The level of attachment is the same. You both have to give it up. Now, to give it up takes bravery, right? That's the only mat I have. Hey, you got 2 BHK, you got 2 beds. And because you are a grihastha, you will also keep more mattresses just in case if some guest come, right? So you got 20 mattresses in your house. So if one goes away, it's not a problem. But brahmachari who only has one mat, if that goes away, he got a problem. So the amount of attachment is the same. We have to work on it. Now just because we have more attachment as grihasthas, we also got more facilities to give up those attachments in Krishna's service. So it's not that, brahmacharis are less attached and grihasthas are more attached. No, it's your personal, individual desire on how much attached you want to stay with one thing and how much detached you want to get from that particular thing. And both the things require the same endeavor.
I just want to add to that question then. Now, but grahastha is a unit of multiple entities, like multiple devotees are there, like wife is there, husband is there. Now, if the husband wants to be detached, the wife will pull, no, I need this, I need that. Again, then you're pulling into that chappan bhog. Yeah? You have to fill more in the plate. So, but as a person who is in ashram also, there may be some like this thing, but it's more you see in this family life, like they're
Srimad
not.
Bhagavatam explains, don't become a husband unless you can take your wife back home, back to Godhead. That means you got to train, right? It says dharma patni. Dharma patni means she will make sure that you follow your religion properly, you do your duty properly. That's a dharma patni. But she can only become a dharma patni if you behave like a guru pati. Like you are there training. Because, it's very easy to just, it's Sunday, let's sleep over. Highly possible. But no, you decide, no, let's go. And, kids. Let's take example of kids. Since we're talking brahmachari life. Kids, Mama, I don't like this. I don't like to eat the Kerala sabji. What is the mother going to do? She's not going to just stuff it in, No. It's like, oh, take it, this is so nice, it's so good for your health. Feed it to the child. And then distract the child in such a way that the child is going to take. Like, I have a small daughter, that's why I can relate, that's what we do every day. Oh no, I don't want to eat anymore. No, look, Krishna is going to feed you. She ate. Oh, Krishna, close your eyes. Okay, nobody's going to eat. Oh, who's eating? Oh, she ate. So you are finding different ways to make sure she's eating. So similarly, if as a grihastha, this responsibility that everybody in the house is Krishna conscious. So if everybody is in the house as Krishna conscious, everybody is thinking of going back home, back to Godhead, then there is not going to be the aspect of, no, I want this, you come back. No, because both of you are trying to go back to Godhead. It's Kardama Muni, he's told Devahuti. Now Devahuti is the most beautiful girl in the entire creation, right? He said, as soon as you have a son, I'm gone. Okay, he completely forgot. Right? Then one day, he's back in his tapasya, he looks like this. I have seen this Mataji, in my house for a long time doing some service. Like, so dear Mataji, who are you? It's like, I'm your wife. We got married, this many years ago. And it's like, oh, I remember. You used to be so beautiful, silken hair and fair complexion. Now you got like dark, under eyes and matted hair. And what happened? Well, you went back to your austerity and you completely forgot that grihastha required things. There is not even a comb in the house. But she, as a dharma patni, was following the religion of the husband. So then he was like, okay, what do you want? I'm so happy with your service. What do you? I go, every grihastha go for a honeymoon. We haven't gone anywhere. Can we go up? Oh, sure, here. Sprinkles. There is a whole huge big airplane ready. He says, go take bath in the pukur, goes there, takes bath, comes out as beautiful as she was. They go around, give birth to 9 daughters. And then he says, okay, you have kids, I'm going. Like, no, you said a son. Okay. Spend some more time, had a son, okay, I'm out. Kapiladev, the Lord himself took birth. He instructs, he's supposed to take care of the mother, gives instructions to the mother. Mother is satisfied, he takes off. Now, Bhagavatam explains that she was sad that Kapila Muni left. But at the same time, she was satisfied with the knowledge she had. So it's not that you're not going to be sad. Narottama Das Thakur, such a great Vaishnava, he's still saying, in the absence of my friends, my Vaishnavas, I feel like jumping into the fire, hitting my head on the rock. He's feeling that separation. He's not just singing it out, he's feeling it. That means the attachment is there, but it's there towards the devotees of the Lord. Why? Because the central point is, I'm attached to Krishna and everybody that is attached to him. So that's why the attachment is diverted and it's centered towards Krishna. That's why, then you're doing good. Yeah?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I like you very well mentioned the cause of disease, like attachment. But like you also mentioned there are so many things we are doing this Shravanam, Kirtanam, all this thing as shedding devotees. But still we are attached. So what is actual remedy so that we can get out of this attachment? Because in spite of doing all these things, we are still attached.
Yeah. You need to be actively working on getting detached. You have to have the desire to give up the attachment. For example, you are going down the road, you see a sweet shop, you are very attached to eating the rasagullas, you go buy the sweets. What are you going to do with the sweet? You want to eat it, but then you say, no, it's not offered to Krishna. So you bring it home, you offered it to Krishna, then you eat. Right? So now your attachment is diverted towards Krishna. Then slowly you work on getting attached to prasadam. I will only eat if it is offered to Krishna. So your attachment towards food is still there, but now it's purified. But you have to make that conscious decision that you want to be detached from that particular thing. Because otherwise, the quality of japa that we do is not very good. Right? Namabhas can give you liberation. Right? But now, we read out the 10 offenses every day. The last offense says to remain attached to the material world even after understanding the glories of the Mahamantra. And we all are doing it. It's not that we are giving up our attachments. No, we are maintaining those attachments while chanting. One devotee made a joke that if only Srila Prabhupada knew that there is going to be smartphones, he would not have allowed us to stick the index finger out of our bead bag. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. So we have to consciously get rid of these things. We have to make a conscious effort. And now it's not easy, because these anarthas have lived with us for lifetimes. To give it up, it's going to be very difficult. The anartha will come up to you and say, hey, are you sure you want to get rid of me? I have lived with you for many, many lifetimes. Do you really want to get rid of me? Do you really want to stop criticizing devotees? Look, that guy, he's wearing pants. And in the temple, he comes and he's singing the, whatever. He's singing the big arti. And as soon as he's out, he's wearing karmi dress. You sure you don't want to criticize him? You sure that devotee, look, he's having long hair? You sure you don't want to do that? And if we say, yes, I am sure, then that anartha is gone. Sometimes partially, sometimes completely. But we have to make that conscious decision. That's why Srila Prabhupada says International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We have to be conscious. And so he also said, first be conscious, then only you can become Krishna conscious. So if we are conscious of our anarthas, and we are consciously getting rid of them, then only we make a beautiful place in our heart for Krishna to come and reside, that we can meditate upon him. Otherwise, it won't work.
Because devotees are already doing all these things, because offering everything to Krishna and doing services and this Shravanam Kirtanam, all these, but still they are attached. So some more modification is needed, or some sincerity is needed. Like anything else which is lacking.
Consciousness. It's like you're breathing. Do you have to pay attention to breathing? Similarly, I'm chanting my japa while watching television, while talking to somebody on the phone, in a meeting, in the train. And then happened with me many times that I check if I can finish my japa within 5 minutes. So in exact 2 hours, I will finish my 16 rounds, and then I feel accomplished. Many times it happened with me, but the quality of japa is not good. What's the point? Right? So rather I have to work on the quality of the japa, and like I see my father do, I see my father-in-law do, they are working on the quality of the japa. Right? There's so many devotees sincerely chanting every day. I've seen so many of our pujaris. They just walk around and chant. There's one of our pujaris, he's here in the temple at 2 o'clock in the morning. After Janmashtami, Janmashtami we finished the abhishek and everything, and we clean up and the deities we put to rest, and like that I came out about 10 past 2, and he's already sitting there chanting japa. He was there with us doing abhishek till 12:30, and took the deities back. I was like, Prabhu, you don't want to go to sleep? And he's like, who's interested in sleeping? I was like, okay, Prabhu, sorry. He just like, who's interested in sleeping? Are you going to go and sleep? He made me feel so guilty that I was going to go home and sleep. But he's here every day, 2 o'clock in the morning, chanting japa. And then whole day I see him chanting. So then I asked him, Prabhu, are you chanting 64 rounds? I said, nah, I don't. My son does. Son is a student in school. When did he get the time to chant 64 rounds? But that's a Mayapur Dhamvasi. He is interested in chanting his 64 rounds as a kid. And he chants it every day, not on Sundays or something, every day. And he's doing good at school. Why? Because he's a simple person, very sincere. His desire is to serve, that's it. Never got into any politics, never got into any fights, never got into nothing as a kid. Soft-spoken, gentle, dutiful, did his service, chants his japa sincerely. So many times I have seen, we always criticize the youth of Mayapur. Right? Oh, they are doing so much nonsense. But I have seen them so many times. They are walking around, and in the Gaushala they are there, in the temple they are there. They got the hand in the bead bag. That means there is a desire to chant. That has to be appreciated, that there is a desire to chant. It's not that, hey, I am with my friends, so, get rid of my bead bag. No, their hands are in the bead bag. They are chanting. Right? So it's a conscious effort. It's just a matter of time when, you're able to give up that anartha and accept Krishna consciousness wholeheartedly.
So how this consciousness will change? Like how we can be sincere about this activity?
You have to make your own decision that I want to change. For example, let's say, you're you're going for a job. In the job, the boss, yelled and screamed at you because you made a mistake. Now you can take it two ways. Oh, I'm so bad, I can never do anything good. Cry about it and one day get thrown out of the job because you're not doing your duty properly. Or you can make a conscious decision, okay, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to get it done. You get it done, you show, you submit your project, the boss is happy, you get promotion. So what happened? What changed? You made a conscious decision to make a difference. The same thing, we have to apply it in Krishna consciousness. It's a conscious decision that yes, I want to go back to Godhead in this lifetime. Srila Prabhupada promised that we can. So I have to make sure that I do.
This is the main thing, because we are doing all these things, but that sincerity is not there, because we are doing mechanically, we are doing all things.
Yes.
But that bhav, that sincerity is not there.
Yes.
So this is still lacking, especially in myself. I'm talking not others.
Okay, so we can officially end over here. It's 9 o'clock. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Wo.